Welcome. This video is about venturing out into the world of dining whilst following a strict gluten-free diet. This video is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional dietary or medical advice or treatment. If you have never had food restrictions before, eating out whilst adhering to a strict gluten-free lifestyle is going to be a very different experience. The most important thing to remember is that you are the caretaker of your own body, and you may just have to become the most assertive version of yourself in order to look after it when you are out and about, and when others are preparing food for you. When going out for a meal, see if you can call ahead of time to inquire about their options for a celiac. This will give you a heads up on their awareness and their willingness to accommodate your needs. Some food businesses will require notice if you have dietary requirements, so they can ensure that they have food available for you that is prepared and on hand for you when you dine. Examples of this may be for degustation services, buffets, banquets, and high teas. Some restaurants are not able to cater to food allergies due to their practices, so calling ahead will make sure that you are aware if they just simply won't have anything available for you. When booking at a restaurant or cafe, either over the phone or online, RSVPing to a wedding or a party invite, or registering for a conference anywhere that there will be food, always mention that your dietary requirement is celiac. If you just say gluten-free, this may not communicate the degree to which people need to adhere to providing a strict gluten-free option. Asking for only gluten-free often communicates to people that you don't want to eat gluten-containing foods. It doesn't communicate to them that you require a strict gluten-free diet without cross-contamination. An analogy would be if someone is allergic to peanuts and was advising a conference of their dietary requirements. If they just put on the form that I don't eat peanuts, the staff are going to have a very different response in comparison to if they read, I have a severe allergy to peanuts. Upon arrival or when ordering, make staff aware that you are celiac and require a gluten-free meal appropriate for a celiac. Ask them to point out meals on their menu that are safe or that can be adapted to be safe. Understand that your options are going to be limited in comparison to what may have been available to you before. Some restaurant foods simply won't be able to be gluten-free, and often gluten-free options, as with the supermarket, will also have the gluten-free tax. When foods are adapted to be gluten-free, restaurants and cafes may have to use different ingredients and much more expensive ingredients, such as burger buns or pizza dough. These cost the food service business more, which then often gets passed on to the consumer as a surcharge. It is currently just a part of needing the gluten-free option that we have to accept. And if you can stay in a space of gratitude for having an option at all, it helps to digest the extra money that you have to pay. When restaurant staff say that they can adapt a meal to be gluten-free, they may simply remove the gluten-containing items from the dish. Unless you ask them to add something in as a replacement, it may make the meal less satisfying and less tasty. So it's always worth asking what they're going to do to the meal in order to make it gluten-free. When selecting from a menu, information about the gluten status of a meal may be wrong or absent. You can never assume that because it has the letters GF next to it, that it is safe for someone needing a strict gluten-free meal. Despite the labelling laws in Australia, as explained in the labelling video, labelling in restaurants and cafes cannot be relied upon as fact. Although there is a trend for gluten-free eating, which has certainly helped increase the variety of foods available in cafes and restaurants, it may have also done a disservice in that many people are lax about their need for something to be gluten-free, as there is no major consequence for them eating it. So that creates a perspective in the community that it is a preference rather than a requirement with potentially adverse effects. So the baseline for gluten-free, or GF, is often no naturally gluten-containing products in the meal. However, that doesn't equate to a celiac suitable dish. Some restaurants will have different labels or different levels of gluten-free, and it's not until you advise them that you are a celiac that the kitchen staff will prepare their food in a different way, such as on a separate preparation area with new gloves. They may toast a bun on a grill rather than the toaster, all of which they wouldn't do if you didn't alert them to your needs. I recommend confirming your meal is gluten-free upon delivery to your table, or when collecting from a takeaway business. There can be information lost in the production line of your food. So ensuring that the person that is serving you the food can confirm that this is a gluten-free dish is another way to decrease your risk of eating a meal that isn't for you. We don't live in a perfect world, and just the other day I was served sausage rolls and tarts with pastry as the celiac option. This dish looked way too good, way too tasty, and therefore it screamed gluten to me. So I took it upon myself to double check with the staff member that I had in fact been served the celiac option, only to be told I had not. So if the meal doesn't seem right, or in my case, way too good to be true, always ask. It's not an enjoyable meal when the whole time you're worrying about whether the food is or isn't gluten containing. Things to commonly look out for when dining out are soy sauce in meals. It is often not gluten-free, so make sure you get the staff to check. Foods that are deep fried in oil that potentially also cooked other gluten-containing foods, this will be cross-contaminated and could result in your food containing gluten. Ice cream or gelato tubs, where they use a scoop, you'll need to check that it isn't contaminated with cones or scoops that were used in gluten-containing flavours. If they're willing, ask the staff to get yours from a fresh tub with a cleaned scoop. Food staff using the same gloves, preparation surfaces, utensils for gluten-containing foods and non-gluten containing foods. Wait staff that don't understand what celiac means. This is an indication that they won't know the correct protocol to ensure that they are providing a celiac safe meal, or how to communicate to the kitchen what your requirements are. Some types of establishments are commonly a no-go. There is very little chance in which they would be able to provide a strictly gluten-free food, as there is just gluten everywhere in their business. This isn't 100% of the time, as some businesses go to extreme effort to make sure that there is a safe gluten-free option that they may buy in already sealed in a package on arrival, or make in a specific area of their business. But commonly the following businesses are full of gluten. They are bakeries, patisseries, fast food pizza and burger joints. When visiting these premises, be extra inquisitive to know that their practices are to ensure foods are kept free from gluten. There are many social media groups out there with loads of people sharing their eating out recommendations. People are constantly sharing a wealth of up-to-date information as they post recent experiences of restaurants and cafes that they have attended. People love to share when they have had a good experience or a bad one, so that others can be aware and increase their chances of enjoying a great meal out. Remember, as always, the responsibility is on you. So take these recommendations and then do your own research. Ask questions, make your own decisions to make sure that the meal is right for you. You could search celiacs in and then put your town or area to search in social media groups to find celiacs in your local community. So, what to ask, what to look for, and how to navigate eating out so it's as enjoyable, simple, and as safe as you can make it. Depending on which restaurants you go to, some useful questions may be: do you have any meals that are safe for a celiac to eat? For any deep fry foods like hot chips, gluten-free battered fish, falafel, etc., I would ask, are your deep fryers dedicated to gluten-free foods only, or are other gluten-containing foods also cooked in them? If the meal contains sauces, are they gluten-free, such as soy sauce? Is the gluten-free burger bun toasted on a separate gluten-free surface? Is the gluten-free pizza cooked in a separate gluten-free oven? Is the gluten-free pasta cooked in a gluten-free only pot? Is the meal prepared on a gluten-free surface? Can staff please ensure that they have new gloves when preparing my food? These are some examples I have found useful in the food establishments that I've come across in my time. There will be more examples, I am sure, but these give you a starting point of things to look out for and questions to ask. As you exercise your gluten-free detective muscles, you will develop a sharp eye for catching gluten trying to find its way onto your plate. Sometimes you may want to go out with an array of options to choose from and know that the establishment is celiac safe, and just to feel confident that you will feel great at the end of your meal. This is where 100% gluten-free restaurants come into play. Restaurants, cafes and food trucks that are 100% gluten-free are a celiac's haven. Food businesses that are celiac aware, who advertise this and who ensure that their practices are celiac safe, do exist. Some food businesses have also gone through the Celiac Australia accreditation to get training and acknowledgement for their food handling practices. There is a list on the Celiac Australia website. The link will be below in the notes. Some businesses will be operating 100% gluten-free with equivalent standard of practices. However, they've chosen not to go through the Celiac Australia accreditation. Again, social media groups can be a great place to find out about these 100% gluten-free venues in your local area. I have a list of places that I know have been consistently celiac aware, and I haven't had any issues eating out at all. These will be my go-to places at times when I just want an easy, carefree night out. I will still flag that I'm celiac and to ensure that the meal is gluten-free, but with much less investigation and mental load that the food will be fine for me to eat. Other times when I want to try somewhere new, I do my research, inquiry, informing them of my dietary needs, advising on arrival, questioning about meals, preparation and ingredients, and at times I will take GluteGuard as well, whether that be to help me physically or even just mentally, to just feel more at ease with my dining experience. For more information on GluteGuard, see their website in the notes below and discuss it with your medical professional to see if it's right for you. Remember, you are the only consistent thing in your celiac journey. Hospitality staff change, owners change, policies change, food ingredients change, so always ask. It may feel annoying and burdensome, but a few simple questions could mean the difference between going out for a lovely meal with friends or being glutened and experiencing the consequences for hours or days to come. And if you have a great dining experience, do share. Share your thanks with the staff and with the chef. Share your experience with fellow celiacs in social media groups or by leaving a review for the restaurant. And together, let's support the establishments that are making an effort to provide delicious, safe dining options for all of us. In summary, take charge of your dietary needs and become proactive in what you eat. Contact restaurants in advance to check for celiac-friendly options. Inform staff of your dietary needs and know what questions to ask when ordering. Don't rely solely on menu labels. Ask specific questions to ensure that your meals are actually gluten-free. Double check with the server that the meal that you are getting is gluten-free when it arrives. Watch out for soy sauce, shared fryers, and cross-contamination in scoop ice cream. Be cautious with bakeries, patisseries, and fast food places due to higher cross-contamination risk. Use online communities for recommendations, but conduct your own research as well. And some establishments advertise that they are suitable for celiacs and have proper training and adequate practices to ensure reduced risk. Provide feedback to staff and share your dining experience with others online to help us all enjoy a gluten-free meal out.